Hello, dear viewers. I am Town Planner Okuni Yimusa, a director at the Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, Physical Planning Automation Department to be precise. Our program on this platform is dedicated to educating homeowners, land buyers, developers, and construction industry investors on land-related matters. Today's episode, tagged Secure Your Investment on Land, features Town Planner Ayo Adediran, a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners and chairman of the Lagos State Physical Planning and Building Control Appeals Committee, along with our presenter, Ms. Oiza Yusuf. Join us for an engaging discussion on land procurement and development, planning permit procurement, building construction, land title registration, and all government policies on land. Feel free to share if you find this discussion interesting. Let's get started.
If you're to do an assessment of the recent demolition of structures along canals and drainages, who would you blame? The developer or the government?
I think we should not start the game of blaming or blame. I will not blame either of them.
Okay.
But at the same time, both of them will have to be blamed. Mind you, a few months back, there were demolitions within the airport territory. So it's not just about the canal, even acquisition. The one at the airport was because people just thought, after all, airport will never get there, and they did. Under the power line, occasionally when the agencies in charge discover that they are going to present imminent danger, then the government enforcement will have to come in. Either to most of these people at one time or the other being warned.
Okay.
So now going to the Canal issue, which I've been reading about it and it's trending. Even some of them have confessed to the fact that they didn't bother to do the needful. What are the needful? You have to have ownership of even where you are. Unfortunately, the person who was claiming that he had ownership will be the so-called developers. And the developer may not be the end user. Because these are also the challenges that the developer may not. You have a block of 6 flats. I take the one at the top. Somebody, So, and you give me an agreement or what you call deed of assignment, and you had already told me you have the title. So when we are now, that's why it's also very difficult. When you are now blaming, you cannot blame me that really bought this controversial. Many of them were ignorant of even the ownership status. That is one. The second one is that ownership itself does not also convey permission to build whatever you like. Because where your right, even to the use of the land, stops, my right as your neighbor will start. So that is why government comes up with planning regulations. Like, look, between your neighbor and yourself, give so meters between the road for the users to have enjoyment of that road, for utilities to be put within the setback between your property and the part of the road that will be tapped. Let there be this space. So these are also regulations. And when the unexpected or unintended recourse into demolition now happens, then we will now be rationalizing. The government will rationalize its position, the developer will rationalize its position. But the issue is that why one has to blame the developer even if government has been negligent, taken for granted, the not only in land law, I mean land transaction alone, the dictum is buyer beware. So you cannot claim you have seen what you are going to buy. Have you made sure that you are buying the original? You are buying the true picture of what you are bargaining for. So it is not the duty of government to even ask you to be warned against buying a lawsuit or buying something that is not appropriate. It is the responsibility of that person that went purchased the land without confirming the status of the land, without going to the roots of the land, without also, apart from the fact that you are paid, some people will claim they pay so much million. Yes, you are paid, and they gave you a paper deed of assignment, and thereafter the last page you will carry consent of governor. That space is there. Governor did not sign it. It's still invalid. It's still invalid because the law says, the land use law says, you should get the consent of governor for every such transaction. And because you see that your lawyer has told you that you have deed of assignment, it's not conclusive and it may be invalid if you didn't conclude it. Because if anybody is challenging you, somebody can be faster than you and get the governor's consent, and then your own will now be the second in that process. So that is by the side of the developer. Now, to the government side, government is, like I said, is you and I. It's you and I in the sense that even when government is acting at times rightly, pressure will come from above, from beneath, from sideways, and then the market, they will say, okay, they are coming, and then they are building by weekend, and by the time you realize, some people will say, what are they looking at? We underestimate the population of Lagos. As we are speaking now, more than 50,000 construction sites are very active, going on. Then, can we get up to 5,000 even town planners in Lagos State? 5,000. Even if they now ask all of us to go out and be monitoring. So we still have that issue of capacity. The population of Lagos, we have heard that some countries are not even up to population of Lagos in Africa. More than maybe 5 or more countries are not up to. I'm talking of population. It's not even about the economy of Lagos. So the effect is also that all of us should be concerned. There are local governments, they have to also be concerned. People have to be concerned. Then we should not put blame on Alausa or the authority alone. I agree. You want them to approve your plan. They have to stay in office to work. They have to also go out. Then how many of them have the instrument? And let me give you an example. Even the police, they are contravening. Go and look at all the markets built by the police. Who will now police the police? And if you say you also want to go and demolish, you can't go and demolish without also having enforcement for you. So it's not just about town planners or builders or engineers working in government. There are a lot of factors that will also have to be brought in. I'm not defending government for not doing their work. It is imperative that government has to find a way so that the recurring embarrassment of telling the public that government is demolishing is embarrassing to everybody. Nobody is happy. I know that the governor is not happy, but when people are also trying to I don't know the language I will use. You just don't want to be responsible. Then the government will activate its power. And many of the demolition that we have been seeing, I don't know whether we have up to 10% or 5% of them coming up to say, these are my papers. And when I say these are my papers, you have to have title to that land and you have to have planning permit. Even now, when you have planning permit, if you are not authorized by LAPCA to go and build, you may also face the repercussion. And these are things we have to all be aware. So you may have your title, C or 4 or whatever you call it. You have planning permit from LASPA, but you still need to take permission, which they call authorization, to go and start building. So when you go there, because you know X, Y, Z, or you have the power, you have the money, then you will now face the consequences.